National Palace Museum Tour Script. Introduction of the National Palace Museum. The Chinese name of the National Palace Museum, Gugong, means the former royal residence. This museum houses one of the largest and most complete collections of Chinese art and historical treasures in the world. You may wonder, why are so many Chinese treasures located in Taiwan? To answer this question, we need to go back to the early 20th century. After World War I, Japan expanded its influence in China and occupied northeast China. To protect the precious royal collections from war damage, the nationalist government started moving many artifacts from the Forbidden City in Beijing to the south. Although the nationalist government won World War II, the Chinese Communist Party gradually gained power inside China. Eventually, the nationalist government lost the Civil War and moved to Taiwan in 1949. At the same time, many important palace treasures were also brought to Taiwan and became the collection of today's National Palace Museum. The preservation of Chinese culture. Because of this historical movement, many precious artifacts were preserved in Taiwan. Later, in the 1960s, mainland China experienced the Cultural Revolution. During that period, the slogan "Destroy the Four Olds" was promoted, meaning the destruction of old ideas, old culture, old customs, and old traditions. Many traditional artworks, historical buildings, and cultural treasures were damaged during this period. Some extreme groups even wanted to destroy historical sites, such as the Forbidden City in Beijing. Therefore, the artifacts that were moved to Taiwan became an important part of Chinese cultural preservation. Thanks to their journey to Taiwan, we can still have the opportunity today to see and appreciate thousands of years of Chinese history, art, and craftsmanship. 3 must-see treasures in the National Palace Museum. Now, I would like to introduce 3 of the most famous treasures in the museum. 1. Jadeite cabbage. The first one is the famous jadeite cabbage. This piece was originally the wedding gift of Consort Jin, one of the wives of the Guangxu Emperor during the Qing dynasty. The most amazing part is that the artist used the natural colors of the jade. The green part became the cabbage leaves, and the white part became the cabbage stem. If you look carefully, you can see 2 small insects on the leaves, a katydid and a locust. In Chinese culture, these insects represent having many children and grandchildren. The cabbage also symbolizes purity and good fortune. This artwork shows not only excellent carving skills, but also beautiful traditional wishes for family happiness. 2. Meat-shaped stone. The second treasure is the meat-shaped stone. When people first see it, they often think it is a real piece of dompa pork. Actually, it is a natural agate stone. The artist used the natural layers and colors of the stone, then added carving and coloring techniques to create a piece that looks like a piece of pork with layers of fat and meat. Even the texture of the skin looks very realistic. It is a perfect example of how ancient Chinese craftsmen could transform a natural stone into a piece of art. 3. Mao Wang Ding. The third treasure is the Mao Wang Ding, one of the most important ancient bronze vessels in China. At first glance, it looks like a simple and gray bronze pot. However, it was originally golden in color. After thousands of years, oxidation changed its appearance into the color we see today. The most valuable part of Mao Wang Ding is the inscription inside the vessel. It contains around 500 Chinese characters, making it one of the longest inscriptions among ancient Chinese bronze vessels. These words record important historical information about the Western Zhou dynasty. It is almost like a history book carved into bronze. My personal favorite artworks. Besides these famous treasures, I would also like to share 2 artworks that I personally like. Songhu bronze wine vessel. The first one is Songhu, located near Mao Wang Ding. One reason I like it is because it was an ancient wine container. But there is also an interesting connection with modern Taiwan. Have you ever seen the 5 new Taiwan dollar coin? The pattern on the neck of Songhu is very similar to the pattern on the coin. It is actually a traditional Chinese dragon pattern. Songhu is also used for ancestor worship. It was a way to remember family members who had passed away and to remind future generations to treasure their family heritage. You can also look at the design of the lid. Some people think it looks similar to modern luxury brand designs. However, These patterns actually appeared in Chinese bronze art thousands of years ago, long before modern brands existed. Ru-ware lotus-shaped warm bowl. The second one is the Ru-ware lotus-shaped warm bowl on the second floor. It comes from Ru Kiln, one of the most famous ceramic kilns during the Northern Song dynasty. Ru-ware is extremely rare. There are fewer than 100 known pieces in the world today. Because of its rarity, people say, having a fortune is not as valuable as owning a piece of Ru-ware. The National Palace Museum has the largest collection of Ru-ware in the world, with 21 pieces. This lotus-shaped warm bowl, with its 10-petal lotus design, is the only one of its kind among surviving Ru-ware pieces. The color of Ru-ware is very special. It is said that Emperor Huizong of Song imagined the color of the sky after rain, a soft and peaceful blue-green color. If you look closely, you can see tiny cracks on the surface. These are called craquelure. At first, these cracks were considered a production problem because the glaze and the ceramic body shrink differently during cooling. Later, people discovered the beauty of this natural pattern and turned this imperfection into a unique artistic feature. Besides being beautiful, this bowl was also practical. Ancient people could put hot water inside the bowl and place a wine container on top to keep the wine warm. So this artwork combines both beauty and practical wisdom. Museum rules and closing. Before we start our visit, I would like to remind everyone of a few important rules. First, photography is allowed inside the museum, but flash photography, extra lights, selfie sticks, and tripods are not allowed. This is to protect the thousands-year-old artworks and also to avoid disturbing other visitors. Second, please keep your voice low inside the exhibition halls. I will provide everyone with an audio guide system, so you can clearly hear my explanation without speaking loudly. Third, storage rules. Large backpacks bigger than A4 size and umbrellas need to be stored in the lockers on the first floor. I hope everyone can enjoy this journey through Chinese history and culture. These artworks are not only beautiful objects, but also stories from thousands of years ago. Thank you, and let's enjoy the National Palace Museum together.